Hey everybody, Jay from Simple Woods Life, heavily caffeinated, and wanting to talk to you real quick about building a boat. Getting that little container built from a rocker panel switches, putting on a casting deck at the back, captain's chair, doing the whole 9 yards. But we've finally had a reprieve from the rain. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful skies, nice little bit of a breeze. It's cooled off ever so. And the youngest had a sleepover that turned into a second sleepover, and they were up until, oh my God, 3 o'clock in the morning giggling and watching movies. So they're not getting up before lunch. And while we want to jump on that boat, we also want to take advantage of this lovely fine summer's day. So Miss Lady and I are thinking about firing up a couple of king quads. And we're not going to go mudding. We're not going to get stupid. We don't have snorkels and mud tires, right? But we can go puddling, and we're going to see if we can't find a few puddles out there before we get to work on the boat. Wow. Let's get to it, eh? So I'm still not 100% clear on what the hell my plan was here, other than this is supposed to get level. So let's see if we can't start by screwing in the gas tank floor into the struts, putting this L bracket on, and then sort of going from there and seeing what's what. In all the bits I have, I'm a little lacking in metal drill bits, and I was hoping that the metal screws I got, the sheet metal screws I got, would just eat into this, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I do have one metal drill bit. It's 1/4 inch, but geez, it just, that's the technical term, right into the metal. So that's beauty. Miss Lady's way out in town and not responding. I was gonna ask her to go by the hardware store and pick me up like an 11/30 tooth, but metal bit. We've got a bait shop that recently replaced their DVD and VHS movie section with a hardware store. So that's, you know, a 20-minute drive versus an hour drive. So since I can't get a hold of my lady, I might pack up the dog and take a real quick run there, and we can find ourselves some metal bits there. If not, the adventure will continue. Now I'm the proud owner of whatever the hell brand this is. There we go. Okay, let's give that a whirl. Oh, pretty level. Not like carpenter level, but I'm not a carpenter. Are we having that discussion? It's a beautiful day out. As I'm sure you can tell with the last little bit of videos, the weather has been cucamonga. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. It's been crazy town. We've had days where it's pushing 40 in the feels like, and days where it's 9 degrees at night. The shop's not too bad. The dog is fast asleep. That was a big deal. We've got everything in there. We got the right parts. We bought the right screw from the most random little bait shop. I had to stop myself from getting a couple of fish in a accoutrement. It's like a little, it's like candy, like a little bowl of Skittles. You just get in there and you're like, oh, that one's nice. That's only $1.99 and that one's $3. Anywho, let's keep building this back deck. So we gotta figure out these little squares kind of things that I planned out in another lifetime. I believe this was my theory. I guess kind of makes sense, no? So, trying to figure this. Got our gas tank here, which means this guy, I don't know the correct term for it, but I feel like if this had one of them fancy cuts, if that was cut out of that, and then I guess you'd cut the same off of there, and then you'd be able to, or something. I really don't know. Because if I screw this into this. Which would mean I'd be chopping that there. So I think we got to screw this into here, maybe a little L bracket on the floor, just so this is solid. And then we can figure out this here. I'm gonna overkill everything. And if you're the kind of cat who says, why did you do it that way? Probably gonna want to fast forward a couple minutes, because I don't know why I did it that way. It's the mood I'm in. That's actually fine. Huh, that's pretty smart. I've seen Norm do this. I'm not Norm, even though most important safety rule is these, safety glasses. Just set this to 1 and... How come that didn't happen to Norm? Well, I guess by the same theory, that looks okay. We're not going to talk about that side. And so the logic is, if I cut this bad boy that depth, well, my measurement's clearly off. Yeah, 1 7/8. What have I done here? Oh. Well, holy capoly. How would you look at that? Huh? Huh? Nothing pretty about that. All right. Just bending metal again. Not enough. Are you kidding me, bro? Jay from a couple years back is MIA. So, but he's left all kinds of traces. That's making Jay from today go, oh. So I built, right, the floor's in, that's fine. The L bracket's in, that's fine. The other stuff I did with my nearly hurt myself Norm Abram style sawing, and then sort of those extra brackets that I put in. I'd said a few videos ago, you know, everything's cut, all I need to do is assemble. And then I'd notice as I'm going, like, oh, everything's a little bit long. So then I put in those brackets, I make the cuts, whatever. And they're a little, you know, they're protruding into the safety box area. And then I'm looking at the gas tank and I'm like, dang, that's gonna be tight with the floor on top, eh? So check this out, check this out. Check this out! If that back bracket that I put in here, pretend this is gone. If that back bracket, if I hadn't cut it, been all Norm Abram-y, and I'd have put this on. Oh, look at that. It's the absolute perfect length. Now what happens here? I put on some plywood. Imagine that carpeted. Look at how finished that's going to be. Which means Jay from a year ago, 2 years ago, probably knew that this was going to be kind of a step-up lip. Then, oh, lo and behold, if that's the case, we've got a substantial amount of clearance. Not substantial, but we've got a decent amount of clearance for this gas tank to do its little swelling or doing whatever it's doing. So I'm like, oh, remember when I said I had this all figured out and I just got to assemble it? And then here I am today making all kinds of updates and changes. So I measured twice and I cut once, but I only thought once. And so I think the thing is think thrice, measure twice, cut twice. Think thrice, measure twice, and cut wise. So we're gonna have to pull out a bunch of this junk, which leaves me with holes now in the bottom floor, 3, 6, 9, 10. Okay, and we've lost a couple pieces of wood. Okay, that's okay. We figured it out. It's going to be better. Our seat's going to bolt here, and look at that. I even figured that out. This is not going to bother, so my seat can still swivel around. This will be a little bit higher, which could be nice as a casting deck. I gain this space, so I gain about 5 inches of space, all said and done. I wish I'd have left myself a note, because this is what I clearly was going to do, so let's do it. It's quite late in the afternoon now. So it's steam whistle o'clock, because this dog's going to have himself a little brewski.
And now let's take a moment to reflect with Jay by the fireside.
I learn from my mistakes all the time, but what I don't do is always sort of trust my instinct, and not necessarily my apparent instinct. You know, the instinct that's like, don't go down that channel, or, you know, take that road instead of this road. I trust that one inherently. I don't know, maybe it's some sort of Irish woo. When I'm working on something that I'm excited about and I'm not enjoying it, I still haven't learned to go, stop what you're doing, figure out why. Because usually it means I'm doing it wrong. Or usually it means somewhere in the dark recesses of my noggin, I know there's a different way. Now I stand back and go, oh, that's why you weren't enjoying what you were doing. Because you knew that this wasn't the way you were gonna do it. And the way I was doing it might have been fine, but the way I'm gonna do it is definitely fine. So, what have we learned? Nothing. I haven't learned a thing. I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be awesome. A couple projects from now, I'm gonna make the same damn mistake again.
This is why pencils have erasers!
This back deck is just gonna be free floating. This will just be like a panel that sits there that covers this up. Put a latch or something on it, you know? Latchy McGee, that's what the kids call it. Latchy McGee. See, that makes more sense now. Look at that. Look at you guys. Look at us making sense. Making sense of our world. Making sense of people, places, and things. Okay, doesn't look like anything, does it? But it is something. and it's sturdy and it's strong, and I can move the boat with these supports. So, I'm quite a bit behind on where I wanted to be. I was hoping at this point I'd have had at least the skeleton of the rocker panel switches built. The dog, she doesn't care for it. Probably not even gonna like this boat, but she's gonna learn to like it because she's my dog, and I'm, she's my companion, right? I'm her caretaker, and I take care of her both on land and in the water, And you can hear her. She's singing about it. What a beautiful song. Pretty jazzed about dinner, barbecued chicken again. And this time I'm going a little outside of sort of where we've been. We've been doing all kinds of Indian food lately, just because this family loves spices. I'm the only one that likes heat, but the family loves spices. So I've been sort of on these journeys to find more and more and more spices. Tonight we're doing some harissa chicken, and I've got some harissa spice blend, a lot of lemon, right? Really get that sort of acidity going, and it's one of our favorite meals. And it's a quick barbecue, super flavorful. She agrees. She thinks it's awesome, and has never tasted it, so she's kind of a phony. All right, phony baloney. We'll have some chicken, and we'll see you in the morning. We'll see if we can't bang the rest of this out. getting an early start today. Loaded up the truck for a sup. Loaded up the sup in the truck, and I don't give a f. Miss Lady's off, having herself adventures on the water with her lovely pal. So I'm like, hey, dude, why don't you start sketching, you know, for the kids out in YouTube land, what this rocker panel box is gonna be. I opened this up to look for a blank page. Check this out. Do you think he could have wrote a note, make the back deck step up? Doesn't matter. We've covered that hurdle, but every now and then, I think there's a problem with communication to myself. How come I don't talk to myself? Well, because they said you shouldn't talk to yourself. This rocker panel box is really not much more than that, you know? Now, there's a couple of things we got to contest with over here. We have this sort of slopey bit on the boat that then goes down to the seats. But I think I'm going to be bringing this rocker panel box far enough out that, you know, I can kind of deal with that, like, and that could actually be a nice way to tuck some wires. Those are wires there. If that's what we're doing, then essentially I guess we're just kind of framing. Now, I feel like maybe I need to have, do I need to have the deck in to frame for it? Or do I account for that? I don't know. Huh. I really don't want to start the day thinking. Can I just toss this together and then cut the deck up next to it? Yeah, I could do that, right? Yeah. Maybe? Oh. Or do I build everything and then I build that? I wonder. Hey, welcome to another episode of Let's Overthink It. Starring your boy! Looking at the boat here, I can see where Dave had screwed right through the seat to affix his piece of plywood. And, you know, I don't necessarily mind doing that since the seat's going to be carpeted and this is going to be carpeted. Build the box, Jay. That's all you're doing. You're just building the box. I don't know. Do you build this top deck? Do you frame it all? Obviously, I wouldn't carpet it, but do I frame it? Do the decking, do the sidewall, cut all that stuff out, make sure it fits, and then do the rocker panel switch? Or do I build the skeleton for everything? I'm just trying to work through this. Do I build the skeleton for everything and then try and do my finish work around it? I think where it's going to come down to it is how do I finish things? You know? Okay. It's hurting my head. Okay, so I'm trying to break this down. I'm gonna have to cut pieces to fit in between these supports anyway. And whatever's So it's I'm almost there, I think. Jesus. Like if I take this piece of plywood, you know, okay, this has to be done across the board no matter what. So that's something we could just do, and then that would be done. That's 14.5, so that could be anything. 14.5 is the give or taker. Okay. I don't have any more of this. But I got a half a 2x over there that I did for something else so I can mock it up, and I got a full 2x there if I need to make some more, which I will. Okay, so that's that beefed up. So I'm riding here. Now, I mean, it's nothing, you know? And this back casting deck is not, it's not big, right? It's not like where you're sitting. I'm losing 8 inches with that support piece, and I mean, I've watched videos where they're like, tear them out, but come on, man, I'm not an engineer. So if I came out to 12, that's lots of room. It's not too far away for me to hit my switches. Still got lots of room to move the motor, right?
Supple up! What's up? Look at how small you are.
Did you hear my dog barking at me?
Yes.
And now smiling at me?
Yes.
Yes. Hello.
How was your sup?
It was awesome. It was so nice out. It was so nice. It was super relaxing. I think I might have got your seat wet a little bit.
That's okay.
My bum was wet.
Wet bum.
Wet bum. Yeah.
Something like that. Well, that's not terrible, is it? Ow. Okay. That looks like 15. 15 would have us sitting on the deck. Mock-ups and make-believe. That's what we're doing on a lovely, lovely day. You couldn't ask for more. We can do a cross member here if we need be. I still think I want to shave 3/8 off the bottom. Put you there, put you there, put you there. You're still level. All right, wicked. Uh-oh. What did I do? I might have hit a rivet. I certainly stripped it. Fudgy the whale. We'll come back to that because I don't care at this moment. I'm actually thinking I might be getting a bit ahead of myself by doing the front and the side there at this point. Only because I want as much room to work with wires as I possibly can. So I think that's sort of towards the end, fit and finish. So we've got the back casting deck, we've got the box shape done. I guess the next step is to reinforce these, put another coat on the floors, and then we start wiring. Huh. And I think what we'll do is we'll end it there with, because we're getting a little late in the day. We're pushing 5 again. So I'll give this all sort of a once over with the spar varnish, the most bullcrap of all the jobs. And I'll do the base of that floor up as well, the back deck. Probably do 2 coats on that tonight, maybe now and then before I go to bed. And then we'll pick this up again tomorrow and we'll just keep going. We'll do the other floor, structure it all in, we'll get the rest of the coats going on and everything else. And then on to the wiring. And see what kind of trouble we get up to there. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Good times. Good times. It doesn't feel like a lot, but we've actually made a massive amount of progress. So I'm tickled. I'm tickled about that, everybody.